We are 6 girls from King Edward VI Camp Hill School for Girls, and this is our idea.
When researching into problems in the 21st century, we found malaria and dengue are some of the most deadly diseases known to man.
Malaria is a deadly tropical disease transmitted through a mosquito's bite. This disease is caused by a type of Plasmodium parasite and typically includes symptoms such as fever, vomiting, fatigue, and headaches.
Did you know, according to the 2013 statistics, 50 children die every hour? This means 584,000 people die every year due to malaria.
Similarly to malaria, dengue is also causing serious problems in subtropical countries. It is a disease caused by a family of viruses that are also transmitted by a mosquito's bite.
Symptoms of dengue fever include severe joint and muscle pain, headache, fever, exhaustion, and rash.
We will now go on to explain our idea further.
So a question that many people ask is, why don't we just kill them all?
There are 3,500 named species of mosquito, of which only a couple of hundred bite or bother humans. They live on almost every continent and habitat and serve important functions in numerous ecosystems. The idea that we could just wipe out an entire thriving species off the face of the earth does raise quite a few ethical and moral issues.
So why did we choose this?
After briefly looking into the topic, we realised that something needed to be done, as some of the statistics were extremely shocking.
So we began our research.
We started by looking into places in the world that are most affected by malaria. This world map shows the distribution of malaria all over the world. As you can see, the map shows that countries in sub-Saharan Africa, in South America and Southeast Asian countries are at high risk of malaria.
These are the areas that would be targeted by our idea.
In general, when reading about the topic, malaria is becoming more widespread with appearances even in the news in Britain.
Researching, we came across an article about Chromobacterium, saying that it could be turned into a drug to treat malaria and dengue because the compounds it secretes kill pathogens.
We thought that a better idea would be to expose the mosquitoes, the vectors, to the Chromobacterium and vaccinate them against the pathogen instead. This could prevent the mosquitoes from spreading the disease, even if they are exposed to malaria or dengue.
So we thought in order to give the mosquitoes their dosage of Chromobacterium, we'd have to lure them in first.
We found that mosquitoes are attracted to many different kinds of carbonated drinks, foods high in potassium, alcohol, sweat, and many more.
However, we dismissed the idea of attracting mosquitoes with carbon dioxide because carbon emissions are causing global warming already. Therefore, we would want to make our idea very eco-friendly and accessible.
We had two main ideas, one of which was a cream in Proposal 1.
This was a cream that could be applied to our skin containing Chromobacterium. The mosquito would swallow this bacteria when it bit you. The bacteria would then proceed to stimulate the insect's immune system to kill the Plasmodium and dengue virus within it.
In hindsight, when evaluating this idea, we realised that there were many flaws with it. 1. The bacteria could be toxic to us. 2. The mosquito would still have to pierce your skin. And 3. It is not certain that the mosquito would consume the bacteria.
Our other idea was to devise a trap that would lure the mosquitoes in and cause them to swallow the bacteria, therefore vaccinating them.
After much deliberation, we realised that Proposal 2 would be more feasible, as there was more research into the practical uses of Chromobacterium than the cosmetic uses. Our inspiration.
To begin creating our eco-friendly mosquito trap, we first had to look at traps that are already in existence. The first is a DIY trap that consists of a bottle that has been cut in half and filled with a sugary solution. Then, the top is replaced so the mosquitoes can go in but not out. However, the problem with this is that you then have a bottle full of dead mosquitoes that you're not sure what to do with, and we are not keen on the idea of killing any living creatures.
To contrast, we then looked at a less eco-friendly trap, which actually kills the mosquitoes. It uses UV light to attract the insects. Under the light there is a suction fan, which sucks the mosquitoes down into a capture net beneath.
After looking at these methods, we then decided that we could use aspects of each of them in our device. We used a sugary solution to draw in the mosquitoes and disguise the Chromobacterium within. We also used a UV light to entice the mosquitoes from afar, so even if they could not smell the sugar solution, they would be attracted to our trap.
The advantage of doing so is that once the dosage is given, the malaria parasite is now killed, therefore the offspring also do not have malaria. This is something that existing traps fail to tackle.
Within our trap, we also needed a way of slowly adding the bacterium to the solution so that it didn't start multiplying too much. For this, we looked at a hospital drip to see if we could use a similar mechanism in our trap. But how does this actually work?
Basically, there are two methods. One is mechanical. This allows the device to dispense a certain amount of solution at a set rate. The other is manual. This method is done by turning a screw, allowing the allocated amount of chromobacterium to flow into the bowl.
The logo that we designed for our idea. The slogan says "Fighting malaria once and for all." We thought this was suitable because it defines the purpose of our idea.
To advertise and explain our idea in a more interactive way, we designed a website that was colourful, eye-catching and informative. Here are some screenshots of the website itself.
The website is designed to inform people about malaria and its dangers, and it also provides information about the symptoms, as well as how our device will help them.
We then started to sketch out our design. Here is the front view.
The basic shape of the device resembles a cylinder with a bowl attached to the bottom. This bowl acts like a feeding bowl for the many mosquitoes that will become vaccinated by the chromobacterium that will drip into the bowl. We have used the drip so that small quantities are only in the bowl, as we are aware that bacteria will divide through binary fission. So, to reduce the risk of resistant bacteria that could potentially threaten humans, only small amounts are filtered through each time.
There are small circular cutouts on the body of the device to allow the light from inside to dissipate in all directions, as light was something that we found attracted mosquitoes.
Towards the top, we have the chromobacterium tub. This will replace each time the fluid is used up for each treatment. It will screw onto the device similar to a light bulb screw. However, it will have a tubing inside to allow the solution to dispense into the drip below.
Our device is fairly simple, so could easily be adapted and created with cheaper materials, making it easier and more suitable for less economically developed countries. Our device will be made available for people in areas of high risk of malaria and dengue. We would initially place them in public areas such as town halls, schools, hospitals, and so on. If people would like to have a device for their home, they can purchase one along with the refills of chromobacterium solution.
As a way of representing the device, we decided to build a 3D model. This was drawn on SketchUp, a program that allows us to print the model on a 3D printer. These are screenshots and pictures of the prototype. We also found that 3D printing was quite cheap, the same cost as printing on a sheet of paper in colour. The actual printer will cost a decent amount. However, once bought, each copy has a low printing cost.
Safety-wise, the device would be hung up high using the handle to avoid risk of children and other animals coming in contact with the bacteria, as the bacteria could be toxic because it has not been cleared as safe to humans. Also, the exact spot is mounted would be near human life, such as housing and public areas, yet out of the way as to draw the mosquitoes in the area away from humans, as well as vaccinating them.
Searching into the costing of our device, we found that the drip could be acquired for £11.82 each, a Perspex plastic cylinder for £5 and an LED battery powered light for £3.09. This would come to a total cost of £19.91 each, not including the chromobacterium solution. This would, of course, cost money to test and manufacture, however we could find no further information.
To globally eradicate malaria and dengue, ultimately we would want to aim to distribute our device freely to many people in those less economically developed countries, regardless of the economic status of the given population. This would make our device more widespread and therefore more effective. In the future, we would rely on charities and other forms of government funding to distribute our device after it has gone through the necessary testing and improvement.